we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Well, it's interesting because you mentioned the solstice. So today I live in Santa Monica. The sun is set, so you can't see it out there, but I live right by Palisades Park, which is right by the ocean here in Santa Monica. And there's a sculpture there. And there was a sculpture. I mean, I thought it was a nice, interesting, weird sort of metal, cool, modern art sculpture that I never paid attention to. It was just there in the park as a central thing. And then last year, I happened to be walking out during the solstice time, and I saw this huge crowd gathered around it. And I learned that sculpture was put there as a marker for the solstice, just like the pyramids or Stonehenge, right? A modern day effort of aligning architecture with the cardinal points with the solstice. And so I went out there again, and what happens is on the solstice at sunset, it shines right through this central hole in the oval, right? And it's very beautiful and lights up the whole park, right? So just like our ancestors would do that with all these great megalithic monuments, they oriented it towards the solstice. This is there. So I just saw that today, but that's the whole thing, is that there is something sacred about the solstice. There's the sense of an ending of a cycle of time, right? That we measure through the sun, right? I come from the Islamic tradition, and there's a verse in the Quran that references God as the Lord of the two Easts and the Lord of the two Wests. And that's a direct reference to how the sun goes to these extremes during the summer and winter solstice, right? It sets at extremes of the sky. So there's two Easts and two Wests. And there's something magical and mystical about that.
That's something that goes back as far back as you can go in history. And we're still following those traditions, even if we don't always realize it, because we've had this sort of veneer of what the season should mean for people, and it's being sold to us a certain way. But beneath that, there's so much history, and there's so much to learn, and there's what's actually going on.
And there's so much ancient architecture that I think has been misdated. And probably some sites that have built on sites that were much, much older, let's be honest about it. And throughout cultures separated by thousands of miles, it was all about astronomy and advanced astronomy, especially where the solstices were critical to the building and construction and orientation of these buildings within like a 0.00 accuracy of a slot somewhere. They were going over a cave. I forget where. I think it was in Ireland, and they just found this one thing where the solstice was this little speck, and they thought it was something else. And then what is it? Cameron, what's the site out there that I believe it's the abandoned Native American site, Chatka or whatever it might be?
You're not talking about the Snake Hollow, right? You're not talking about the snake carving?
No, I'm not talking, because that's the Ohio Valley. But there's another one in the American Southwest where a photographer was walking on a hill outside of an abandoned Native American site, and someone had carved a spiral on a rock behind another rock, and that rock was there to filter the sun through a narrow slit to hit exactly in a spiral. Wow. And these are cultures, these are Native American cultures that we're still finding these things out, and it always comes back to astronomy, and in particular the solstices.